A meditation for stress and anxiety. Sit comfortably on a chair, your feet flat on the floor, your hands on the top of your legs, your back against the back of the chair. Take a deep breath, then breathe normally. And with each breath, follow that breath into the clearest available space within. Feel the weight of your body on the chair, breathing normally. And imagine that you're walking on a beautiful tropical beach, and it's the morning time. There's golden warm sand under your bare feet. You're wearing a swimming costume. The sky is pure blue with wisps of clouds, the sun just rising. There's a slight mist on the sea, the clear sea. And as you're walking along the golden beach, you look out at the sea and you think that you might want to swim in the sea. You walk towards it, and as you walk into the sea with your bare feet, the water is warm and welcoming. You walk further into the sea and stride out, and the water comes higher up your legs to the middle of your body, to your neck, and you start to swim, feeling relaxed and comfortable and utterly at peace. And as you're swimming easily through the warm waters, you can see the golden beach and some buildings quite nearby. You feel something brush under your body. At first, you're not worried, and then you see some yards away something surface. It's a fin in the water, and you realise that although you're only some yards from the beach, you are out of your depth, and there is a shark circling you slowly. You feel a slight panic, turning into a really big panic, and without splashing you try and make your way to the beach. The shark is circling closer, and as you get closer to the beach you decide to make a run for it. You start splashing and thrashing about, frantic now to get to the beach, and your feet get a purchase and you're running up the beach out of the water, and the shark is disappointed. You run up the beach. There's a few people sunbathing and walking on the beach who turn to look at you, and you look round, but the shark is out of danger. There's no danger to you now. It's circling some yards out, and you notice with some surprise that the water is withdrawing as if the tide's going out. The shark is swept backwards by the water, pulling back towards the sea. This is quite a strange thing, and suddenly in the back of your mind you have a memory of somebody saying that if the water suddenly retreats, it could be a tsunami. And sure enough, you see what at first seems to be a layer of cloud on the horizon is in fact a vast wall of jade-coloured water rushing towards the beach. It seems unreal and surreal at first, but you turn and you start to run, screaming out, "Look out, tsunami, tsunami!" And you run up the beach away from the sea to a road, and then there's a few beach huts, and you come to a larger road with some buildings, and you look back and see the tsunami coming closer, and you think my only chance is to get as high as I can up one of the high-rise hotels. You rush into the reception shouting, "Tsunami, tsunami!" And they look at you blankly. You run into the lift and you hit the up button. Like there's only one other person in the lift. It's a woman, and you're saying, "There's a tsunami, we have to go up." And she's saying, "I've just come down." So you push her to one side so she hits her head and falls to the side of the lift, and you hit the up button frantically you notice that there's 20 floors. It's a tall building, you picked a good one, and you start to count the floors thinking the tsunami is going to hit soon, it's going to hit soon, and you're going 3, floor 4, floor 5. The young woman starts to come round and looks at you in panic in the lift, and she goes to jab for the lift button, and you push her back again. You're shouting, "Tsunami, tsunami." She doesn't seem to understand what you're saying, she just looks scared. And then 8, floor 9, floor 10, you think it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, and suddenly there's a crash and all the lights go out. The lift judders to a halt. You can't see anything, you can't hear anything but screams, muffled. And then you realise that the tsunami is hit and the lift shaft is now filling with water. You have to get out of this lift, but you're jammed between floors in a dark lift with a panicked woman. You think, I have to get out of the top of the lift, it's the only thing I can do. So you decide that you're going to jump up and try and punch out the hatch at the top of the lift, and amazingly in your panic you manage to do that in the pitch darkness, and there's a very slight light. There must be a skylight above the top of the lift, and as you punch out the top of the lift, the woman there is attacking you. She has no idea what's going on. You're kicking her, you're trying to pull yourself up, and there's water flooding upwards, upwards, upwards. And as you pull yourself out of the top of the lift, the water's rising and it starts to fill the lift. You're almost pulled out of the hatch now, but the woman's dragging hold of your clothes now. And as you pull yourself out of the hatch, she actually pulls down your trunks. You start naked. You're on top of the lift. It's filling up with water. You're trying to reach down to help her, but all you see is her hand as it disappears, full up with water. And then the shaft is full up with water. You start to climb the lift cable. You can see a door up, and you manage to wedge it open, prise it open, and you stumble out and you find yourself in a hallway, stark naked, and it seems no one on this floor knows what's going on. Everybody looks at you in puzzlement, and you just rush to a door and you shout, "Tsunami!" And it's a concert hall, and you're on a stage, and there's a great big grand piano, and somebody grabs hold of you and said, "At last you're here, it's time for your music exam," and sits you down at the piano, and you're trying to tell them about the tsunami, but they're not listening, and they say, "Right, this is it, your music exam, you've got 200 examiners watching you. You have to play Beethoven's Fifth, and you can't play the piano, you're stark naked, there's 200 people looking at you, and you start to play Chopsticks, and it's deathly quiet, and everyone's listening, and they're looking at you as if you're a complete idiot." Then the door bursts open, and it's a police detective, and there's a couple of people saying, it's him, he's the one that killed the woman in the lift. And you're going, "No," and you decide that the only thing to do is to crash through the window at the side of the building. At least you'll hit the water. So you take a big run and you smash through the window, cutting yourself quite badly. But instead of actually hitting the water, you find yourself looking down the throat of a large shark 2 yards before, and you're falling to, and then you wake up feeling very, very stressed and very, very anxious, and you're back in the room.